Okay, Queenie, could you tell us a few things about your memories of your daughter? This is her 25th anniversary of Sheena's death. Is it a painful memory to live with? Or have you sort of reconciled yourself to the pain over the years?
I've reconciled myself to the pain over the years, and I've all good memories of Sheena, the type of person that she was. Even from she was a child, she could read and write at 3-year-old, and she was always, when she was at school for fair play, and everybody in the classroom got their turn of doing what they call were just to the library. One time she'd come home and she'd give off that certain people from what do you call it, estates was always getting down to the library, and or down a few of the other ones wasn't. So she clicked up a bus and she won our battle. Then they all got their
Very
turn.
good. She was studying law at the time of her death.
Yes,
She obviously was an intelligent young woman then.
she was very intelligent.
Was she looking forward to working in law as a solicitor?
Well, really the reason that she took up law was when she was in the centre, there was that many young people that split along from different problems, and Gabriel wanted to go to law to help them people the legal way, you know, for more advice and stuff like that there. Really that was her idea. It wasn't just to be seen as a lawyer, you know, it was to help the people, you know what I mean?
It's a terrible loss that you've suffered in your life. How have you coped with that?
Well, you have your good times and your bad times, but we're a strong family, all of us, and we just carried her on where Sheena left off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you see this Sheena's death, or the things that Sheena believed in, as being reflected in the Sinn Féin, and particularly John O'Dowd's candidacy now for Westminster?
Oh, John has absolutely just carried on for where Sheena left off.
The same values?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, yes.
And would there be particular reasons you feel that John's carrying on those values in particular ways?
No, let me think.
She was a Sinn Féin member at the time
Yes,
that
that's
she died.
right.
So I guess
Well, John, well, he could tell you himself, but certainly Sheena influenced John and his brother Mark to join Sinn Féin. And so John is certainly carrying on for where Sheena left,
okay.
and I'm very proud of that.
Okay, listen, thank you very much, Queenie. That's lovely. And if you could just stand up and we'll have John take your place. Thank you very much.
Right,
Okay, John, I can maybe just pick up on what Queenie was saying. In what way did Sheena Campbell influence you to be interested in the things that you made your life?
Well, the O'Dowd and the Kearnses and this clan all go back a long, long way. So there's not only a political relationship, there's a family and friendship relationship. We're from rural backgrounds. We lived in a small community which seen the worst aspects of sectarianism over many, many years. So I knew Sheena as my sister's friend before I knew Sheena the political activist. So my first memories of Sheena as a political activist, I have to say, is when during the hunger strikes, she was running Craigavon Youth Against the Hate Blocks, and I was in school in Lismore, just over the hill here, and looking out the window, daydreaming perhaps when I should have been studying, and down come the far field was a march led by none other than Sheena Campbell, calling on young people to come out during their lunch hour and support the hunger strikers, which I did. And there was several marches around that time led by Sheena, and it was amazing to see this young person you knew as a friend, your sister's friend. We always kept her going about her Bay City roller trousers and all, but you know, the human nature of things that is often lost when people are lost in conflict. Leading this group of people, being articulate, strong, determined, standing up to British soldiers, standing up to the RUC when they were blocking our marches, etc., and being articulate to the crowd. So from that point onwards, you know, Sheena had a very, very strong influence on my political views, on my political journey.
And I suppose the fact that she paid for it with her life would have impressed you even more.
Well, I prefer she hadn't have. I remember the morning, I was working in Enniskillen at the time, so I didn't hear the news the next morning. my radio was my alarm. And when the 7 o'clock news came on, the new Jerry Adams has expressed condolences to the family of Sheena Campbell.
Who'd been shot in Belfast, was it?
Yeah, Belfast the night before. So it was a huge shock. Something very, very difficult to deal with. And it took me a while to absorb all of that and make decisions around my own life and where I wanted to go with my life and what political involvement I wanted with my life. But you often look back on those times and, like, Queenie had mentioned Sheena working in the advice centre, and we have lots of resources at hand now in our advice centres, but Sheena was sitting in an advice centre with at times there was no heat in it. At times I know she was paying for the electricity out of her own purse. I know at times she was resourcing that centre by herself and working in it. And when Queenie talks about Sheena taking on law for the betterment of others, that's what it was about. It wasn't about the title of a lawyer or being a solicitor or the gains you can make in that profession. It was about law for changing people's lives for the better.
Right, I can see the connection you're talking about. Okay, could we come to the Westminster election in which you're running? Why are you running for Sinn Féin in this election?
Well, this election, all elections are vitally important, but this one has a significance which I think will bear out over the next 10 to 15 years. We've seen a significant change in politics in the island of Ireland following the last Assembly election. The Unionist majority is now gone. But as we constantly say, and we will continue to say, we're not seeking domination. We're seeking liberation. We're seeking liberation from partition. We're seeking liberation from Brexit. And we're seeking liberation from austerity. And we're seeking liberation for our LGBT brothers and sisters, for all those other groups out there, for Irish language speakers, all who've been denied rights. So this election allows us to set down another marker.
This use of the term United Ireland used to be almost unique to Sinn Féin. And in the last couple of months, we've heard the Fine Gael people speaking it, we've heard Fianna Fáil people speaking it, and we've heard Michel Barnier and the EU speaking it. How different are we now as a result of that? Does that mean we're in a new place than we were before? Or is those just words?
No, I think we're in a new place. The implications of Brexit on the island of Ireland is the biggest constitutional change since partition. The impact on the economy of Ireland will be devastating. The impact on the cultural, social and economic relations across this island will be devastating. So Fine Gael, when they're talking about United Ireland, have not suddenly become protectors of the nationalist people in the north. They now realise that British government actions on the island of Ireland are going to impact their constituencies. And they're concerned about it and they want to deal with it. And the logical way to deal with it is through Irish reunification. So that's why that debate has started. And I welcome the debate. I welcome the fact that Fine Gael are talking about it, that Fianna Fáil are talking about it. Even the SDLP now dare mutter the words United Ireland. So it's a good thing. The United Ireland project is not, and never should have been, simply a Sinn Féin project. We have been the advocates of it, but I welcome anybody on board who's prepared to work towards United Ireland. What that United Ireland looks like in the future, we may have differences of opinion on, and Sinn Féin may not be the lead party in the future United Ireland, and we will continue to lobby and campaign for equality and social justice and all those sorts of things, but welcome on board. No matter how late you're coming to the argument, welcome on board.
I said that was the final question. This is the final question. If you're talking to someone who hasn't quite made up their mind about voting for you, they're toying with it, what would be the single most important argument that you would put to them?
Look at the history of our peace process. Look at the changes that have happened in this society over the last 20 years. And for 20 years, Sinn Féin were told certain things wouldn't happen. That you would never share power with unionism. We did. That there would never be a changing to policing and military in the island of Ireland. We achieved that. We brought the conflict to an end. People told us it could never happen. But when politicians and political activists are given a mandate who know what they're about, we make change. And I think what makes Sinn Féin different from the other parties standing in this election, the politics of unionism has been confined by the 6-county state. The politics of the SDLP has been confined by the 6-county state. It's a narrow focused politics because they're working in a very, very small constituency. Sinn Féin operates across the island of Ireland. We operate in diverse communities right across this island. And that political experience works to our benefit.
Going to have a good election?
I hope so.